on this very breezy day. Welcome to the commencement ceremony at the College of Charleston. Please stand for our national anthem as sung by Mr. Jamie Westbury, one of our very talented graduating seniors. Jamie?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, showtime. Thank you, Jamie. Dr. Harrison Randolph once offered this prayer: let our students grow in grace day by day, enlighten their minds, purify their hearts, and sanctify their wills. Our graduates represent the answer to his prayer. Today is an exciting day for them and for all of us. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today, especially our distinguished commencement speaker, Dr. Nan Morrison, our two former presidents, Dr. Harry Lightsey and Judge Alex Sanders, and their wives, Kathleen and Zoe, our board of trustees, faculty, staff, and of course, all of you, family and friends. Each year, we like to start by asking our graduates to stand and recognize those whose support made it possible for them to be here today. Parents and grandparents, brothers and sisters, husbands and wives, relatives and friends. So I'd now like to ask the graduates to stand and show their appreciation. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you. It's hard to believe, but some of you began your time at the college the same year I began my tenure as president. And the more I got to know so many of you in the past few years, through classes or sporting events, performances, or just informal get-togethers, the more impressed I was. I saw your intelligence and your talents, your engagement with the world, and your compassion for others. I saw your increasing commitment to learn and to be of service, and to infuse everything you do with integrity. But more than anything, I saw your resilience. In just the past few years, we have witnessed the beginnings of war and global instability. Together, we've experienced periods of economic uncertainty and social conflict. Yet throughout these difficult periods of time, you repeatedly showed your resilience and determination to learn, to be of service, and to make things better. You should be very proud of what you have accomplished, both inside and outside these walls. And I can assure you that I am very proud of you as well. Now you are ready to cross the cistern as the class of 2005. Over 200 years of College of Charleston's graduating classes have preceded you, and that bestows quite a sense of history on this day. Honor that history. But remember that you have added something that is truly unique. You have added yourselves. No other class has brought or will ever bring the same perspective, the same talents, or will face the same challenges as you have. And now you have a great opportunity to carry that energy and vision into a world that so desperately needs it. If there were but one thing that I could leave you with as you begin your post-college lives and careers, it would be this: the most important guarantor of your success will be your persistence. For thousands of years, our finest teachers have made this point again and again. The ability to get back up in the face of adversity and to keep going is critical to realizing your dreams. As the historian Thomas Carlyle put it, permanence, perseverance, and persistence, in spite of all obstacles, discouragement, and impossibilities. It is this that in all things distinguishes the strong soul from the weak. 4 years ago, you and I began our journey here together, and I ask you to remember Carlyle's words as you leave here today. Finally, I ask you to keep close the friends you have made here. They're more valuable than you know. And no matter what direction you take, remember, we are here for you. Use us as a resource, and please return to us often. You are our alumni, and we are your alma mater. Congratulations, good luck, and we wish you all the very best. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now be joined by several members of the college family for conferring of our honorary degree.
Nan Morrison, in recognition of 4 decades of your unflagging loyalty and dedicated service to this institution and your distinguished teaching career that has inspired and enriched the lives of countless numbers of our students, the College of Charleston is pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
By authority of the state of South Carolina, granted to the Board of Trustees and committed to me, I declare that Nan Morrison is now admitted to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters of the College of Charleston. Mrs. Marie Land will invest the hood. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to present our graduation speaker, Dr. Nan Morrison.
I would like to address briefly first the graduates and the faculty and the family in support of this adventure. Graduates who are behind me, and oddly, you have now reached the point in your academic career that the adults most delight in. We've got you in fairly uncomfortable clothes, in fair heat, some of you with your parents in attendance, which can be uncomfortable, and the diplomas are in sight, or are at least so close that they can be smelled. These pieces of paper we have promised you are tickets to the world that you have worked some 4 years for, and some 12 before that. We've got you pent up, as it were, and now we like to get up here and congratulate ourselves on our capacity to congratulate you, and we like to take our time doing it. But you are in luck today, because the commencement speaker I am introducing has told me she will speak for 5 minutes, and by rule, I should speak not more than 1 minute in bringing her on. Nan Morrison's telling you to get off the stage and to not fripper up the day with niceties about her trumps the otherwise prevailing plan of delaying the delivery of your diplomas as long as possible. Will that do?
That'll do. That's perfect.
I have 9 more pages that I would have given you.
Thank you, Paget. President Higdon, President Samarity, Lightsey, and Sanders, members of the board, faculty, staff, parents, friends. Congratulations, graduates. You and I today receive a coveted honor, a diploma from the College of Charleston. It took you 4 years. It took me 38. You're probably wondering why you have to listen to another teacher when you wanted Dave Chappelle or Jon Stewart. The reason is that this year the college is honoring teachers. Comedians came in a close second, however. I have been chosen to represent all teachers, not because I am the brightest, good going, not because I'm the brightest or the best, but because I'm the oldest. When I came here, the college had a total enrollment of 420 students. During my first 3 years here, the college teetered on the brink of bankruptcy. Most of the faculty resigned. A handful of faculty stayed and delivered the curriculum. I would like to pay tribute to these teachers today and to all the dedicated teachers of the College of Charleston. Teachers have not fared well in the literature of England and America. Indeed, sometimes the only way you can tell the difference between teachers and comedians is that comedians deliberately provoke the laughter that is directed at them. Chaucer's scholar teacher has to borrow money from his friends to live. His clothes are threadbare, and his horse is as lean as a rake. I always tell my students to compare the faculty parking lot and the student parking lot. In the student parking lot, there are BMWs. At the faculty parking lot, there are Pontiac T1000s. In Dickens' Hard Times, Thomas Gradgrin stands in front of his students with square coat, square legs, square shoulders, insisting that they know the facts and nothing but the facts. In American literature, one of the earliest pictures of a teacher is that of Ichabod Crane in Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. He is a poverty-stricken social climber who wants to marry Katrina Van Tassel for her father's money. In that great work of popular literature, Bart Simpson is punished for his misdeeds by having to write 100 times, "I will not expose the ignorance of the faculty." There's probably some basis for these characterizations, but they don't represent what I learned from my teachers, who taught me to understand what it meant to be a dweller in space and time. They taught me to follow that fragile thread of language leading back to earliest recorded history. They taught me I could transcend space and time and thereby understand more clearly my own place in space and time. With a turn of the page, I could be in ancient Greece, 1st century Rome, 11th century China, 14th century Italy. Through their guidance, I learned to transcend other spaces, the spaces of race, gender, and age. I will never forget my surprise when I, a young girl of 18, felt sympathy for an old man, and a not very lovable old man, when I read Shakespeare's King Lear. You're probably saying, that was Shakespeare, not your teacher, who provided that bridge from judgment to understanding. Well, I have to concede that Shakespeare's a pretty good writer. But when I was 18, I could not understand a line of his prose. particularly prose that was spoken by a professional fool, a madman, a pretended madman. I didn't understand the vocabulary and syntax, but what is worse is that I had an undeveloped imagination and an ignorant heart. Today, I would like to talk about one of those theories, or one of those ways of talking about space and time, and that is the division of time between sacred mythical time, which is cyclical, and historical time and space, which is linear. Here, at this moment, in this place and time, we are in a sacred space and a sacred time. Why, you may ask? Well, let's take space first. Early societies regarded the construction of each significant edifice, temples of religion, of education, of justice, as an imitation of the original creation of the universe. Randolph Hall and the cistern partake of this myth. 5 of the men who helped design the model for the College of Charleston helped design the model of the government of the United States, which is also an imitation of original creation. A student in 1917 sensed the sacredness of this place when he wrote the following: "Passing through the lodge of red stone, you pause to take in the charm of the way the trees open before you, to reveal columns faintly rosy in the clear light, a quiet space full of sunlight, silence, and repose." Now let's look at time. Agricultural societies believed that time was cyclical because they saw nature renew itself anew each year, with the eternal return of spring. Tilling the crops proceeded in the same pattern every year. Through repetition and ritual, any act becomes a part of sacred or mythical time. Thus, the graduation ritual, which is repeated year after year, transforms concrete time into mythical time because it joins together all of the graduations that have been ritualized here. The teachers' year and years proceed in the same cycle as the farmers. Every September, we see a group of new students enter college, and they look like the ones who began the year before and the year before that. Excuse me. And they have the same level of energy. In the 1850s, students stole the horse and buggy of John Bachman, one of the most eminent teachers in the history of the college, to take a joyride. Utility carts, borrowed from physical plant, afforded the same pleasure to students in the 1990s. At pep supper in the early part of the 20th century, students threw dinner rolls at their teachers and wittily called their action the bombardment of the faculty. In the 21st century, students throw beach balls at graduation speakers, and I shudder to think what they call that activity. But we know that we live in historical time. Philosophers have told us that to achieve a sense of identity, a sense of enduringness, we must have a feeling that comes from living in the present moment, remembering the past, and anticipating the future. Unlike many other places, the College of Charleston has a history. Our history contains signers of the Declaration of Independence and drafters of the Constitution. It also contains slave owners, racists, and bigots. All of our complex history must be acknowledged. Today, as you march across the cistern, you will literally be marching in time and history. You will be repeating the ritual of all those who have walked there before you. They include John Charles Fremont, the Pathfinder. Remember him? Paget Powell, Linda Highsmith, Arlinda Locklear, who represents her fellow Native Americans before the Supreme Court, Ludwig Lewison, a famous Jewish writer, Judge Bill Neely, my son Thomas, my daughters-in-law Liz and Mabry, and Bobby Marlowe, chairman of the Board of Trustees. You will therefore become a part of mythical time, and you too can experience the eternal return. We expect you to return. We expect you to return for Alumni Weekend. We expect you to return when you give your first million to the College of Charleston. We expect you to return when you enroll your children in classes at your alma mater. This sacred place will always be a part of your identity. If you are to remember who you are, as your grandmother instructed you to do, you need to know some of what the college has represented historically. In its second charter, written in 1791, the following principle was established. No person shall be excluded from any liberty or privilege in the said college on account of his religious persuasion. Therefore, we represent religious freedom. For 45 years, the president of the College of Charleston published this description: a college of high standard where individual instruction is assured every student. Therefore, we represent high standards and the importance of the individual. In 1917, President Harrison Randolph said, "The College of Charleston still endeavors to take a stand for a broad and liberal learning. Therefore, we represent the timeless value of the liberal arts." To quote Robert Penn Warren, "Today you are going out of history, into history, and the awful responsibility of time." The nature of time is flux and change, which is sometimes painful. But always remember what that great teacher Merlin told his student, the young Prince Arthur. The best thing for being sad is to learn something. That is the only thing that never fails. You may miss your only love. You may see the world about you devastated by evil lunatics. There's only one thing for it then, to learn. I began by saying what I learned from my teachers. I'd like to end by telling what I learned from my students. My students taught me to pay attention to the oblique remark. My students taught me that there are many, many different kinds of intelligence. They taught me that every person, every young person, has a unique personality, and no matter what his or her GPA score, or SAT score is, each person who is 18, 19, 20, 22 can think the most profound thoughts, write the most beautiful words, and do the most beautiful deeds. I hope you find your passion as I found mine. Good luck and Godspeed.
The class of 2005 has made a special gift to the college this year. Through their generosity, a tree will be placed in the Rivers Green area located behind the new Addlestone Library in memory of the 9/11 victims. I'm pleased to announce that over 90% of this graduating class has pledged to participate in the purchase of this tree, a record participation level. I want to thank each and every one of the graduates for this marvelous gift. Thank you very much. Thank you. This year, we have 5 perfect 4.0 GPA graduates. Would each of you please stand as I call your name and remain standing until all names are called? Blair Nicole Beecham in communication, Ronald Leslie Blankenship in political science, Scott Christopher Evans in business administration, Heather Michelle Kenny in historic preservation and community planning, and Elmer Ray Martin in anthropology. Congratulations. Congratulations. The Bishop Smith Award is the highest honor a student can receive during his or her career at the College of Charleston. Recipients of the award are chosen on the basis of demonstrated leadership and academic excellence. I'm pleased to announce that the Bishop Smith Award has been presented to Rebecca Lynn McCarson and Svetomira Ivanova Enlo. I hope I pronounced that name right. Rebecca is graduating with a major in communication, and Svetomira is graduating with a major in international business. Would they stand? Congratulations. At this time, it's my pleasure to present Ms. Graham Irvin, President of the graduating class, who will make a statement on behalf of the senior class, followed by Mr. Lance Hageman, President of the Student Government Association, who will make a statement on behalf of the student body. They are both magnificent representatives of this institution. Graham?
Thank you. I would like to once again welcome you all here and thank you for taking part of this exciting day. First, I would like to take a moment to honor all of those who have helped us reach this day. Without the support of our family and friends, college would have been a lot more difficult. I would like to especially thank my family for their support morally and financially, as well as their encouragement and guidance through the years. I'm very lucky to have such great parents who insist on being extremely involved in my life. I truly admire and love you both. I would also like to thank Jimmy Campbell for his help and support this year. Jimmy's not only my vice president, but also a very dear friend of mine who I'll miss so much. Jimmy, thank you. I could not have done it without you. Besides today, I think the most exciting day of my life was the day I received my acceptance letter from the College of Charleston. As I told the exciting news to my friends and family members, they all told me the same thing. These are going to be the best 4 years of your life. I didn't think much about it at the time, but lately I've been looking back and I've realized these have been the most wonderful years I've ever experienced. Many times people become so involved with life, they let it pass them by without truly enjoying it. I've come to believe that it's the little moments in life that make it so grand. College has been a lot about turning moments into memories. We don't think about it at the time, but it's these moments that we remember the most. These moments can make us laugh, smile, and even cry, but one thing holds true: they will never be forgotten. College for me has been filled with many special moments, and I'm sure all the graduates can agree. For example, the moment I wish my mom would finally leave me alone after a long day of moving into the dorm, and the moment I realized she just didn't want to say goodbye. Also, the moments when I met all my wonderful friends and the many late and crazy nights we've shared together. Other unforgettable moments have been tripping over those darn bricks, getting my car towed, encountering those crazy street characters on King Street, breakfast in Craig Cafeteria, long summer days at the beach, dorm life in Barry, and learning the art of not getting splashed by cars while walking to class in the rain. We have learned much more here at the college than textbook definitions and how to cram for finals. College has taught us how to somewhat grow up and take responsibility. It has taught us how to survive on little money and no food. But most importantly, college has taught us who we truly are and what we are capable of in life. As I leave the College of Charleston, I will take with me many memories. However, the most important ones will be of the many wonderful people I've met here at the college. I will always remember the friends I've made who keep me grounded and continue to brighten my days with laughter, excitement, and the unexpected. I will always remember the many amazing professors who have inspired us to be the best that we can be, and I will never forget the many faculty members who have guided me through this year with endless support and encouragement. I would also like to thank the college employees and staff who keep this campus safe and exceptionally beautiful. As we leave this place, we will take with us many memories and lasting friendships. We will always cherish these days we have spent together, but most importantly, we should appreciate the great college education we have received, which has prepared us to meet the many challenges that lie ahead. To the class of 2005, congratulations.
Thank you. Excuse me. I may be biased, excuse me, but this is probably the most prestigious graduation in the country. Welcome. President Higdon, the Board of Trustees, our distinguished parents, grandparents, siblings, family, friends, and my best friends, my fellow graduates. On behalf of the student body, it is my honor to congratulate and make a statement of how proud and impressed we are with this class. This class has excelled and exceeded for 4 years. As President Higdon touched on earlier, we all remember coming to the college and being away from home for less than 3 weeks when our country was attacked. Many of us were uneasy and confused, but we made it through these tougher times. A year later, many of us moved off campus, which was oh so popular. With this move, the freedom we enjoyed in college had doubled, but not without more responsibility. The emerging responsibilities helped us in our educational development. And at the beginning of our junior year, I distinctly remember a conversation highlighting that we were officially halfway through with college. The next thing I knew, I was writing this speech. Our final years, many of us, the graduates, were serving as interns and building ourselves for a future in the real world. Some students were leaders of student organizations, while others pursued community service and off-campus activities. No matter what route was taken, this entire class has arrived at this point prepared for the next step. My fellow graduates, we're all among some of the best friends of our life, and we're beginning to leave some of the best memories in our life behind. Don't lose these connections, no matter how hard it may seem. Like many other graduates, I owe more than I can imagine to my friends and my fraternity who are behind me. Irving Berlin is credited with saying, "The toughest thing about success is that you've got to keep on being a success." Graduating from the College of Charleston is the first success that these individuals behind me have accomplished, but the road ahead is filled with even more challenges and subsequently more successes. As these challenges come, these graduating seniors will prevail time and again. These successes will be propelled by the constant support that our mothers, fathers, families, and friends have provided for us. And we all know if you have 2 crutches, you can walk straight. So as you leave this institution, you will walk off with 2 crutches. One crutch will be that of your family. Take this crutch everywhere you go, because no matter what, it will always be strong enough to lean on. The other crutch will be your lasting friends, the people beside you. Make sure you keep this crutch together with all of its pieces strong and sturdy. If you lose touch with your friends, you will still have one very strong crutch to lean on, but you can get places more easily when you walk straight. That's something I came up with myself. Now, at this moment, Graham's mom said when she dropped her off at college, she didn't want to say goodbye. Neither do we, but now is the time to bid farewell to this glorious experience and great institution that lies behind us. Once again, on behalf of the student body, I congratulate my best friends in the whole world, the class of 2005. Thank you. Thank you.
I now call on Chairman Bobby Marlowe of the Board of Trustees, representing the state of South Carolina, to present the diplomas, and our Provost, Dr. Elise Jorgens, will assist.
Upon successful completion of all the requirements, and with the recommendation of the faculty, I have the honor to present the graduates of the class of 2005. Assisting with the presentation of the bachelor's degrees will be Dr. Susan Catwinkle and Dr. Evan Perry of the Theater Department, and Dr. Karen Chandler of the Arts Management Program.
Mary Elizabeth Bridget Baker, Kristen Patrice Banks, Courtney Brianne Bates, Mary Elizabeth Benedict, Catherine Ann Borkowski, also meets the requirements for arts management, summa cum laude. Megan K. Buds, Eleanor Burke, Hannah Carmichael, Anna Louise Cohn, also meets the requirements for studio arts and is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Glynis May Dolby, also meets requirements for studio art. Marjorie Lee Douglas, Kelly Joan Flaherty, Erin Elizabeth Franklin. Erin is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. The honors program certificate was awarded by Dr. John Newell, director of the honors program, at a separate ceremony yesterday. Megan Gansis, Julian Reed Henson, also meets requirements for studio art. Joe Murray Hobbs, Jean R. Nigal, Suzette Demarigny Oates, Richard Justin Poole, also meets requirements for communication. Kelly Kathleen Romine, Catherine Willoughby, also meets requirements for arts management. Hillary Nina Winburn. For the bachelor's degree in arts management, joining us will be Professor Scott Shanklin Peterson, director of the program. Avon A. Allen, Brandy Patricia Acock, Sherry Lynn Brookshire, Holly Michelle Boussard, Susan Virginia Chafin, Sarah Morris Collins, Jarrett Norman Meadows Creswell, Jamie DiBiase, Ina Tadlock D'Amatos, Mandy Diane Elias, also meets requirements for studio art. Leanne F. Geary, magna cum laude. Kelly Elizabeth Gordon, Laura Holterman, Jordan K. Jones, Shayna Hodges Keckley. Shayna is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Emily Morgan Kehoe, Paul Myers Davis, cum laude. Stephanie Patterson, Michelle Yvonne Pope, Meredith Lane Rayner, cum laude. Emily Richardson, Erin Putney Rogers, Lauren Elizabeth Rogers, Erin Quinn Smigaki, Jerry Tanea Smith, Mary Jessica Snipes, Allison Elizabeth Stewart, Gary John Towles, Ginger Lee Beth Vallon. For the bachelor's degree in historic preservation and community planning, joining us will be Robert Russell, co-director of the program. Cartledge Whedon Blackwell III also meets the requirements for art history. Joseph B. Crosby, Merrill M. Davenport, Richard S. Stias, Jeff Charles Goolsby, Sally Miller Hatcher, Caitlin Ann Kelly, Heather Michelle Kenny, summa cum laude, top honor graduate. Robert Douglas Kimbrough, Mimi Cameron Kind, also meets requirements for art history. Julie Elizabeth Livingston, also meets requirements for studio art, magna cum laude. Ashley Desiree Nash, Sarah Ellen Elizabeth Power, Matthew W. Sachetti, Nina Handley Schmid, also meets requirements for art history. Elizabeth Sarah Weaver, also meets requirements for art history. Mary E. McConnell. This is Mary's 4th bachelor's degree from the College of Charleston. Madeline Frances Woodward also meets the requirements for history. Jennifer Roper. For the bachelor's degree in music, joining us will be Mark Renier, associate professor of the department. Grant R. Gimple, cum laude. Gerald Mitchell Walden Gregory, magna cum laude. Nicholas Jenkins. Brandon Lee Joyner. For the bachelor's degree in studio art, joining us will be Michael Tyzak, chair of the department. Ryan I. Apple, Grace Beverly, Ann Stevenson Bowen, Catherine Brockhouse, Jamie Brown, Lee R. Brownlow, Leanne Jean Bucci, Caroline Claire Bush, Jessica Jean Carter, Elizabeth Carter Cottle, Betty Blake Elrod, Anne Celeste Fishburne, Robert Philip Green III, Mary Alexandra Hoydle, Amy Suzanne Honeycutt, Jason L. Kazmierski, Justin L. Keith, Catherine M. Leonard, Colin M. McKelvey, Jean A. Mosher, Casey Murray, Patrick Nevins, Lee Scott Page, also meets requirements for communication, Emily Ann Pavlin, Antonio Preet, Bianca Marilyn Schumacher, also meets requirements for German, cum laude, Thomas H. Shepard, Elizabeth Brown Staling, Emma Chafee Vogt, also meets requirements for biology. Rachel Vicacall. Rachel is a graduate of the honors program, also meets the requirements for anthropology, summa cum laude. Megan Wentland. Autumn Nicole Williams, cum laude. Stacy K. Yarborough. Thomas Alden Young. For the bachelor's degree in theater, joining us will be Mark Landis, chair of the department. Laura Elizabeth Anthony. Aaron Dale Ballard. Nicholas James Bechtel. Christopher B. Belger. Christopher is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Sarah Blanks. Constance Augusta Bonzani, also meets requirements for psychology. Katie Lynn Brandt. James Carl Campbell. Jonathan M. Coker. Daniel McAllister East. Daniel's diploma is being presented by Dr. Sam Stafford, member of the Board of Trustees. Aiden Patrick Fiore. Andrea Jean Fisher. Leslie Marie Fowler. Caitlin Gill. Sarah Beckham Letzen. Sharon Zoe Litsky. John T. Markowski, magna cum laude. Mary Deering McCullough, cum laude. Elizabeth Mead, magna cum laude. Robert F. Murdoch. Amber Mary Margaret O'Neill. Emily Michelle Oy. Emily is a graduate of the honors program, also meets the requirements for English. Jessica Lynn Simon also meets the requirements for arts management. Tristan Daly Shields. Happy birthday. Jessica Elizabeth Simpkins. Jessica is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Markia Shante Washington. Assisting with the graduates from the School of Business and Economics will be Dean Robert Pitts. For the bachelor's degree in accounting, joining us will be Rhonda Mack, chair of the department. Natalia Viktorovna Alexandrova, magna cum laude. Christina Maria Alvanos. Stacy Louise Barber. Henry A. Brown, Jr., also meets requirements for business administration. James Alphonse Burkhardt III, also meets requirements for business administration. Kristen M. Burns. Christina M. Chappelle, also meets requirements for business administration. William James Costigan II. William is a graduate of the honors program, meets the requirements for business administration, cum laude. Jennifer Lanfear Daniels. Carla Goodson, also meets requirements for business administration. Casey L. Horlback. James Hayes McDonnell. Kelly Francis Mast. Erica Lee Medlin also meets the requirements for business administration, magna cum laude. Jason O. Moore. Regina R. Newcomb. Ryan Peter Rebish. Andrew Roland Richard. Christopher Michael Royer. Christopher Simon. Wyatt Reed Smith. Richard Paul Timmons. Tata Marie Turner. Jennifer Tanya Veron. Emily Ryan Wade. Crystal Rochelle Willis also meets requirements for business administration. For the bachelor's degree in business administration, joining us will be Dr. Kent Gordin, chair of the department. Robin Renee All. Catherine Ann Atwater. Karen Christine Arter, cum laude. Zachary A. Bennett. Courtney A. Benton, cum laude. Maxwell Evans Sauceberger. Arina Konstantinovna Bibanova. Ksenia Konstantinovna Vivanova. Christopher Blanton. Anne von Glan Bonstow. Kristen M. Boone. Christy Borst, cum laude. Martin Gould Boyd. Emily Breland. Lori K. Brickner. Tiffany Brown. Adam Butler, magna cum laude. Carrie Leah Caldwell. Leslie Nicole Candler. Derek W. Carlson. Benjamin Munnerlyn Carter, Jr. William T. Carter. Tanya L. Cobble. Samuel Adam Cheesebro. Lilia Aiken Clark. Matthew B. Coyner. Camille Caniglio, magna cum laude. Daniel J. Cook. Jonathan Travis Cooper. Kevin M. Cullen. Lee M. Curtis. Abraham Khalil Dabbit. Zenobia Laverne Daniels. Tara Janine Davis. Caroline Marie D'Annunzio also meets requirements for psychology. Lindsay Ann Dorio. Marcella Ann Duba. Brandon Dubos. Amanda Duffy. Clinton Dunlap. Jessica Lynn Dunn. Ashley Elizabeth Earnhardt. Charlotte Arlene Ebert. Jillian Marie Esper. Scott Thomas Evans. Scott Christopher Evans. Scott is a graduate of the honors program, summa cum laude, top honor graduate. Wesley Smoke Ferry. Tara Elizabeth Fanjoy. Emily H. Ferraro. Melissa Flanagan. Mary Abigail Fleming. Aubrey N. Florence. Colm Ford. Matthew Gaylord. Daniel Gemma. Melissa Margaret Gibbons. Joshua David Gilbert. William Wilder Goodall. Cameron Lydia Gorman. Emily Rebecca Griffin. Kelly Lynn Groff. Robert Gullett. Gwen Renee Gustafson. Lance C. Hageman. Matthew Holtzman Hall. Devin Ham. Jonathan Langdon Hand. Laura Meredith Harper, cum laude. Jefferson Lane Hart. William Garrett Hebern. Ashley Elaine Heltemus. Jan Francis Hesbrick. Brett Hinckley. Myron Lee Hinton Jr. Thomas Andrew Horvath. Megan L. Huffman. Matthew Huttemeyer. Sarah Joyner Ingram, magna cum laude. Joshua Allen Isengard. Christopher Jacobs. Will Jansen. Samantha Jellin. Matthew Christopher Jarris. Veronica Monique Jones. Scott Wilson Ukatz. Mary Lehrer Karesh. Randolph Keller. Taylor Armstrong Kemp. Rebecca Kennerly, cum laude. Colin Richard King Lewis. Benjamin John Kindem. Amanda Lynn Kitchen. Tracy Waterlander Knight. Philip Kohler, magna cum laude. Aliza Kuharska. Stephen Thomas Lair Jr. Stephen is a graduate of the Honors Program, magna cum laude. Christopher Alf Lamb. Ashley Lambert. Robert Lane. Rebecca Aaron Lee. Catherine Elizabeth Levens. Ryan Lucas. Christiana J. McInnes. Nicholas Ian McPherson. Joseph Martina, magna cum laude. Amy Renee McAllister. Kathleen McCullion, cum laude. Matthew Craig McDonald. Travis G. McLeod, magna cum laude. Melissa Lane McMillan. David P. McQueenie. Andrew Lawson Milliken. Gabriela Berto Moriera, magna cum laude. Brandy Lynn Muckenfuss. Thomas J. Molyneux. Paul D. Multani. Paul's diploma is presented by Dr. Sam Stafford, member of the Board of Trustees. Russell Munn. Stephanie Nolte. Heidi Nielsen. Sarah M. Nielsen. Robert B. Oliver. Ashley May Owen, cum laude. Daniel Parsons. Matthew Evan Pecoy, cum laude. Michael Anthony Perrone. Kyle Matthew Pinto. Doug Porter. Doug is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Scott Principe. Christopher Robert Ramo. Thelko Wolf Ratliff, cum laude. Daniel L. Rakes. Jessica Renee Reeks. Thomas Michael Riley. David Allen Restivo. Luis C. Restrepo. Christopher Thomas Reynolds also meets the requirements for accounting. Sean Patrick Richards. Matthew Corrigan Rogowski. John A. Ryan Jr. Lisa Pridgeon Seyfried, magna cum laude. Taylor Samuel. Carrie Elizabeth Sanders. Kristen Shun. Ashley Lynn Scott also meets requirements for communication. James Ryan Sears. Daniel J. Semko. Timo Jorg Siebert. Matthew Davis Leister. Jessica Ann Smilari. John Andrew Steinmeier, magna cum laude. Ryan Patrick Stevenson. Timothy Ryan Steinwettel. Joel R. Stewart also meets requirements for accounting. James Strong. Abigail C. Sullivan. George Brian Tacey. Shannon Thompson. Ronald Wesley Thrift. Dustin M. Tibbs. Matthew D. Waldrep. Samuel Wheeler. Courtney Lee White. Elizabeth Marie Whitlow. Blaine W. Wilkinson. Anna Elizabeth Williams. Jesse Williams. John Rand Williams. Robert A. Williams. Josh Wibley. Lindsay Aaron Wolcott. Emily McIntosh Wunsch. Glenn Ellison Wiley. Alexander Hage Zantopoulos. William Stanton Yako. Blake Wallace Young. Catherine Carter Young. Jody A. Ziberink. For the bachelor's degree in economics, joining us will be Dr. Michael Morgan, chair of the department. Tyler Harrison Tuning. Kellen Cooney. Kellen is a graduate of the honors program, also meets the requirements for math, summa cum laude. Nicole DeBone. Nicole is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Matthew Vernon Galantine. Sarah Victoria Gentry. Nicholas Hemmerly. Nicholas Edward Kahn, also meets requirements for business administration. Blakely Hill Kimbrough, also meets requirements for business administration. Nina Loembo Delho. Thomas Spencer Luttrell. Erica Morgan. Erica is a graduate of the honors program, summa cum laude. Savannah Rose Morton, also meets requirements for business administration, cum laude. Joseph Ezra Newbecker. Sarah J. Ogletree. John L. Ruffin, magna cum laude. Reed Allen Schaefer, cum laude. Josh Smith, also meets requirements for political science. Raymond Michael Stewart. Craig Ryan Stiller, cum laude. Blake Anthony Ugron. Stephen Corey Whalen. For the bachelor's degree in international business, joining us will be Dr. Kent Gordin, chair of the department. Daniel John Allen. Andrea Caniz, also meets requirements for arts management, cum laude. Kendall Michelle Casey. Howard Lander Clausen. Elizabeth Lauren Caskey. Katie L. Calhoun. Brian Craig Crossan. Carolina M. Davila. Jonathan Bryant Day. Sarah L. Decker. Christopher N. Dorsey. Francis Annelle DeLuca. Jennifer Colin Dixon. Nicholas R. Deolano. Roman Michael Duty. Charles Devon Eakes, Jr. David Elder. Peter Franz. Joseph Gebhardt, also meets requirements for Spanish, cum laude. Jesse Golland. May Ellen Hall. Eric N. Ingratiai. Guy Michael Evans. Michael Scott Heinrichs. Brandon James Harris. Helen Day Johnson. Nicole Elizabeth Luttrell, magna cum laude. Barbara Amar Logan. Rachel A. Mast, also meets requirements for Spanish. Shalene Jamie May. Lauren Christy Miller, magna cum laude. Ruth Lauren Miller, magna cum laude. Caleb Samuel Moyer. Mara Namey. Brian Odom. Lauren Michelle O'Brien. Sveti Enlo, summa cum laude. Eugenia G. Pasuk. Evan P. Powell. Christopher Allen Sanders. Jennifer C. Robert Daniel Simpson. Lauren Sneath, also meets requirements for history. Aaron J. Stace. Helen Catherine Stathakis, also meets requirements for Spanish. Karen Marie Staten. Karen is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Sean Stokes. Matthew R. Story, Matthew R. Tedder, Temanuga Ivanova Torva, Danielle Trethewey, Leanne Salters Tuttle, Kathleen E. White, Patrick Kyle Wilson, also meets requirements for Spanish, Jennifer Louise Witherington, Elizabeth Reagan Wolf, also meets the requirements for Spanish. Assisting with the graduates from the School of Education will be Dean Francis Welch. For the bachelor's degree in athletic training, joining us will be Professor Susan Rotzi, director of the program. Brian Gregory Calder also meets the requirements for physical education. Charles Benjamin Jones also meets the requirements of physical education and biology. Pauline Kessler Marchink also meets requirements for physical education. For the bachelor's degree in early childhood education, joining us will be Dr. Linda Fitzharris, chair of the department. Kelly Deanna Buskness, cum laude. Abigail Elizabeth Cantrell, cum laude. Jennifer L. Coggins, cum laude. Stephanie Marie Collier, magna cum laude. Michelle Christine Combs, magna cum laude. Catherine W. Decker. Joanna Elizabeth Derrick, cum laude. Kelly Lynn DiMaggio, magna cum laude. Amber Kathleen Edwards, cum laude. Julie Valiska Freeman. Layla Meredith Gordon. Carrie G. James, summa cum laude. Jessica Brooke Lewis. Laura Ann Little. Erin Louise Mahoney, summa cum laude. Erica Louise Mathias. Jennifer Jean Messer. Krista Lynn Morgenthal. Roby Elena Moyer, cum laude. Jennifer Ann Ortmeyer. Shanietta Michelle Roll. Bliss Newton Sherrilds. Casey Reagan Smith, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Stallhuth, cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Steele. Sarah Beth Sugarbaker. Courtney Sue Swafford. Blair W. Swanson, cum laude. Erica L. Tisdale, magna cum laude. Carrie Virginia West, cum laude. Perrin Claire West. Angela Michelle White, cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in elementary education, joining us will be Dr. Linda Fitzharris, chair of the department. Delaney Elizabeth Batson. Nora Elizabeth Brannon, magna cum laude. Heather Brinson. Dorothy E. Christian. Lauren E. Clark, magna cum laude. Amanda Carolyn Cobb. Mia Elizabeth Colarusso. Courtney Lee Collins. Rebecca Ann Daniel. Kendall Nicole Davis. Rebecca Ellen Dick, cum laude. Valerie Estes Donnell, cum laude. Ricky Lorraine Dowdican, cum laude. Sarah Ashley Durnan. Bailey D. French. Deandra Tanikia Frierson. Chelsea Grossman, cum laude. Marianne R. Hamrick. Felicia S. Hefney. Margaret Ann Hess. Ashley R. Hinson. Ashley Lane Huggins. Alicia Victoria Jones. Bobby Jean Kemmerlin. From the School of the Arts, Jamie S. Westbury. In education, Vernita L. Kennedy. Rachel King. Melanie Knight. Karen Elizabeth Lyle. Martha Louise Lucas. Elizabeth Lines Maraska. Dana Morgan Monahan. Also meets requirements in early childhood education, cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Mullet, cum laude. Elizabeth Grant Murray. Kimberly Kiana Murray, also meets requirements in early childhood education, cum laude. Whitney Lee Nelson, magna cum laude. Ann L. Noble. Wilhelmina Rebecca Otero. Elizabeth Ann Parham. Elsa Arlette Rice. Stephen Roberts. Sarah Elizabeth Salem. Tiffany Nicole Spielman, magna cum laude. Dwayna Fraser Tillman. Ashley Rebecca Tyson. Jamie Lee Vendetti. Melanie Opal Westbrook. Jessalyn M. Whittingham, cum laude. Charlotte Louise Wilson, summa cum laude. Whitney Schreiner Wilson. Lindsay Yap, cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in middle grades education, joining us will be Dr. Linda Fitzharris, chair of the department. Jonathan Barrow. Kelly Elizabeth Collins. Sarah Rose Dial. Julia Tidmore Howell. Sasha Nicole Newton, magna cum laude. Nicole E. Ranson, cum laude. Crystal Dawn Stevens, magna cum laude. Carrie B. Waller. Ashley Whiteside. Elizabeth Nicole Acker. Okay. How did that go?
For the bachelor's degree in physical education, joining us will be Dr. Tom Langley, chair of the department. Margaret Riley Anderson. Jamie Lynn Lee. Rostislav Markovich Bader. Daniel Thomas Bauer. Eddie Tyrone Brown. Miranda Michelle Brown. Adrian Lee Bryson. Bryn Margaret Colette Burkhardt. Bryn Margaret's diploma is being presented by her father, Don Burkhardt, Associate Vice President for Enrollment Planning. Kristen H. Burke. Ashley M. Christian, summa cum laude. Matthew D. Kohler. James Madison Conway V. Meredith Lynn Craig. Talia Crawford. Talia is a graduate of the honors program. Christiana Francis Crow. Ross Livingston Kernet. Ross's diploma is presented by Dr. Sam Stafford, member of the Board of Trustees. Jessica Daniels. Yolanda Sarah Lynn Darby. Charlene Marie DeJoseph. Lara A. Eastmer. Jenny Elizabeth Ellis. Natisha Nicole Evans. Adrian Denise Felder. Jennifer Kari Fernandez. John Michael Gillum. Raymond Christian Glass. Ashley E. Golden. Allison N. Griffith. Barry Elizabeth Gross, cum laude. Ralph Fillmore Hayes III. Kelly Ann Hinson. Ruby Shella Holmes. Shemaya Johannes Holness. Victoria Logan Hunter. Anna Izquierdo Ruiz. Autumn Shea Jones. Jimmy Lynette Jones. Ruth A. Jones. John C. Corbar. Elizabeth Nicole Acker. For the bachelor's degree, Jamie Lynn Lee. Gregory W. Liebert. Angie Nicole Fuller Logan. Vanessa McKay. Rachel Louise Magry. Amy Beth McLennan. Quindolyn LaFawn McInnes, magna cum laude. Connor McInturf. Tominio Jamal Middleton. Adrena Sinette Nelson. Tiffany Charmaine Page. Larissa Pieper. Sarah Rose Rakoff. Sarah is a graduate of the Honors Program, magna cum laude. Maudra McKinley Rogers. Mary Frances Roper. Catherine Elizabeth Royster. Stephanie Marie Stone, magna cum laude. DeAndre Terrell Taylor. Allison K. Ward. Chanel Vernay Webster. Claire T. Wigfall. Claire's diploma is presented by Dr. Sam Stafford, member of the Board of Trustees. Thomas Hamlin Wilcox IV. Nicole Zwolinski. For the bachelor's degree in special education, joining us will be Dr. Robert Perkins, chair of the department. Jessica Elizabeth Boswell. Hamadi Latif Brown. Leslie Ann Brown. Jennifer Renee Buford. Jennifer Diane Cato Church. Emily Elizabeth Phan. Hannah Danielle Fettner, cum laude. Amy Frances Giles, summa cum laude. Raven Clarice Guyton. Trixie Gail Hodges. Melita Octavia Johnson, cum laude. Megan Allison Moore, also meets requirements for psychology. Lindsay Annette Parton. Sarah Tiffany Provost. Whitney Marie Quick. Courtney Reed Savage. Erica Claudia Teradista. Summer Lee Wiggins. Assisting with the graduates from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences will be Dean Samuel M. Hines, Jr. For the bachelor's degree in anthropology, joining us will be Maureen Hayes, chair of the department. Michael Charles Alexander. Nicholas James Allison. John Carl Badilla. Ella Jane Baxter. Melena Gabriella Kahn. Jonathan Omowale Kane. Leslie Marie Clevenger, cum laude. Ronald Alec Cooper, cum laude. Jessica Nicole Downs. Brian R. Duvall. Devin Day Howard. Charlotte C. Jacobs, magna cum laude. Frank Hawkins Keenan II. Jennifer Catherine Manarino. Elmer Ray Martin. Ray is a graduate of the Honors Program, summa cum laude, top honor graduate. Courtney Sean McMillian, also meets requirements for biology. Amy Bree Murphy. Amy is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Sydney Farrell Payton. Sydney is a graduate of the Honors Program, magna cum laude. Alan M. Rutherford. Merritt Maservi Sanders, also meets requirements for international business. Chad Wayne Simmons, magna cum laude. Sarah M. Stewart. Christopher Allen Tiso. Joy Kristen Ullery. For the bachelor's degree in classics, joining us will be Dr. Darrell Phillips, chair of the department. Thomas Bullington. Thomas is a graduate of the Honors Program, magna cum laude, also meets requirements for English. Julie Lynn Cangelosi, cum laude. Amy Gayton, also meets the requirements for history. Julia Hernandez. Julia is a graduate of the Honors Program, also meets the requirements for history, summa cum laude. Sylvia J. Maddox, also meets requirements in political science. Jamie Lynn Lee, Jacob M. McCoy. For the bachelor's degree in communication, joining us will be Brian McGee, chair of the department. Haley Abbott. Abigail Adams. Benjamin William Akery. Catherine Johnson Albia. Catherine is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Lindsay Danielle Allen. Brett Curtis Anderson. Jessica Rose Anderson. Kelly O'Grady Anderson. Catherine Anthony Gonzalez. Kira Elizabeth Antonetti. Tamiria Maniqua Barber. Miranda Wade Barnhill also meets requirements in psychology. Blair Nicole Beecham, summa cum laude, top honor graduate. Rebecca Nicole Blackburn, Natasha Blasco, Lauren Elizabeth Blakely, Trevor J. Brightman, Harry Tilden Brill III, Brittany Lacey Brinzer, Courtney Marie Brown, Darius Brown, Emily Elizabeth Brown, Jonathan Alexander Brown, Cynthia McLaurin Bruce, Patrice Nickel Bryant, Courtney L. Callahan, Timothy Shand Cameron, Courtney E. Carbone, Caroline C. Carpenter, Benjamin Hearn Carrier, Nicole Moselle Casanova, Carrie Jess Casto, Catherine Therese Charles, also meets the requirements for biology, Keely B. Clark, Evan Chipley, Jeffrey Charles Coates, Ashley Jane Cole, Molly Colello, Sarah Como, cum laude, Natalie Elaine Cook, magna cum laude, Jennifer Elizabeth Cronin, Sydney Diane Cummins also meets requirements for political science, Catherine Marguerite Cunningham, Shannon Michelle Cunningham, Paige Louise Curry, cum laude, Melissa N. Curtin, graduating from the Honors College, Brian Davis, Harry B. Dinwiddie, Dana Denise Dixon, Christy Ray Dixon, Megan Marie Dugan, David L. Dumas, Elizabeth Carnes Eiserhart. Elizabeth's diploma is being presented by Mr. John Maloney, President of the Alumni Association. Graham Leslie Irvin. Okay. Kristen Elaine Everett. Mary Frances Ewing. Ashley Elizabeth Familia. Alexandra Jane Farnham. Kelly Floyd. Allie Nicholson Forrester. Kira Wanaki Frazier. William Christopher Frederick. Stephanie Randolph Fusco. Caroline Fall Gardner. Elliot Sloan Genther. Emily Lauren Garish. Logan Elizabeth Gibson. Logan's diploma is being presented by her father, Mr. Steve Gibson, Director of the college's Center for Student Learning. Sarah Walker Gipe. Jessica Catherine Goldfinch. Michelle Marie Goodman. Narlene Octavia Green. Philip James Griggs. Kristen Leanne Gross. Kirsten Cecile Gussack. Georgia Susan Hare. Colin Michael Harrington. Christopher George Harris. Jason E. Harrison. Allison Francis Hart. Michael Brian Hastings. Brett A. Hawkins. Elizabeth Helen Hayes. Lindsay Bruce Haney. Thelma Vanderhorst Henderson. William Peter Hangamul. Sarah Elaine Herndon. Bridget L. Hinson, magna cum laude. Catherine Merritt Howard. Neil Howard. Megan Elizabeth Hubbard. Josephine D. Irvin, magna cum laude. James Thomas Jackson. James's diploma is being presented by Dr. Sam Stafford, member of the Board of Trustees. Stanley J. Jackson. Catherine Marie James. Margaret C. Jarvis. Bianca Jagers. Laura Ashley Jelly. Elizabeth N. Jenkins. Krista Michelle Johnson. Lenning Gregory Johnson. Marcus E. Johnson, Latrice Jones, Rochelle Jones, Lauren B. Jordan, Amanda Keeling. Amanda is a graduate of the honors program. She also meets the requirements for Spanish, cum laude. Kyle Kirchhoff, Michelle Lee Kerner, Kendra Noel Ketter, Blair Elizabeth Kingsbury, Ashley Jane Cubista, Jacqueline Suzanne Kwasnick, Mary Amber Lafon, Elizabeth Bostic LaRoche, Jan Wilhelm Lieverens, Charles B. Loftley, Kelly E. Mahan, Christina Martin, Jennifer Elizabeth Menard, also meets the requirements for business administration. Taylor H. Massey, Rebecca McCarson. Rebecca is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Carrie Larkin McCormack, Caitlin M. McTague, Melissa Medford, David Benjamin Metter, William Miller, Stuart Arden Morris, Jane Elizabeth Murphy, Brian Michael Mahalik, Sarah L. Nash, Melissa Nelson, Lucas Henry Nettles, Brandon G. Norwood, Robert Daniel O'Hara, Allison Magerstadt Olive, Molly Palmer, Emily Bourne Pascal, cum laude, Nicholas Charles Pavia, Julie Ann Peeler, Julia Morse Perkins, Amy E. Pertuset, Genevieve Rose Peterson, cum laude, Kellyanne Phillips, Ashley Elizabeth Qualls, Kimberly Marie Ravenscroft, Wesley S. Rice, Heather Arcadia Roberts, Dustin Kate Robertson, April Christina Robinson, Summer Nicole Rochester, Edwin Ned Rogers, Jason Airst Rosenberg, Richard L. Rotroff, Stephanie Rushton, Christina Michelle Ruthsatz, Ashley Ryan, Candace Sanders, Dana Lee Scarborough, Catherine E. Sheelander, Jennifer Lee Shelton, Rachel Sarah Schur, cum laude, Lauren Lee Schaffner, Jessica Lynn Shoup, Takia Jade Singleton, Lindsay Jean Williams, Lindsay Smith, Julie Smith, Lindsay Ruth Smith, Suzanne Courtney Smith, Emily Lords Smoke, Catherine Whittington Staley, Brooke Heather Starr, Michael Staten, Jacob Edward Stevens, Whitney Strawn, Sally Ann Street, Beth Marie Sturm, Carlton Drew Sutton, Dorsey Sullivan Jr., Robert Swain, Grant W. Tankus. Jennifer Lynn Tate. Ashley Middleton Taylor. Michelle Marie Temple. Barbara Calber Thompson. Ashley Elizabeth Tillilly. Jillian Molly Todd. Robin Jean Townsend. Michelle Lynn Trantham. Crystal Marie Vanderford. Charles Michael Varon. Chelsea Marie Vieneman. Jessica Ann Vega. Natalie Ray Vincent. Russell Dion Washington. Martha Jane Walker. Kevin Robert Wintage. Kristen Ann Weber. Thanks. India Asha Whitfield Cargyle, cum laude. Natalie Campbell Whitney. Brian P. Whitaker. Lindsay Jean Williams. Joshua E. Wilson. Dina Marie Wooten. Kendra B. Worthy. Jessica Zacharias. Amanda Marie Zagrodny. Sarah Marie Zaks. John Andrew Zellnar. For the bachelor's degree in English, joining us will be Dr. Larry Carlson, chair of the department. Jeremiah V. Benning. Megan Brinson. Megan is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Jackson Britt. Megan Kiesler Booty. Thanks. Keverly Burchett. Keverly is a graduate of the honors program. Tiffany Butler. Adam Charles Butts, also meets requirements for secondary education certification. Courtney C. Christmas, also meets requirements for secondary education certification, cum laude. Allison E. Clyburn, also meets requirements for secondary education certification. Lauren E. Colley. James Cole Conway. Emily Jane Metz Cooney. Alex Cooper. Lindsay Ann Deloach, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Rose Eggers. Anna Christine Evans, magna cum laude. Heather M. Fowler. Erin Carmel Gentry, also meets requirements for political science, cum laude. Paige Stewart Gupton. Joanna Beth Haynes. Jessica Lauren Hafer. Jonathan Brian Holland. Kelly Cherie Jenneret, also meets requirements for secondary education certification. John Joseph Cruzel. Katie Liljedahl. Anna M. Lowe. Evelyn Hope Lumpkin. Shannon Madden. Mary Catherine McAlilly, summa cum laude. Brady D. Miller. Bradley D. Miller. Laura T. Noblin. Dana Claire Nunley, cum laude. Katie Riddle. Katie is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Jessica Rivers. Jessica is a graduate of the honors program, also meets the requirements for Spanish, magna cum laude. Sarah M. Schwartz. John Seeley. John is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Allison J. Smith. Sarah L. Sutherland, summa cum laude. Linda Amelia Spatz. Cecily Erin Steele. Chelsea Marie Thompson. Hannah Rebecca Walker also meets the requirements for communication, summa cum laude. Rachel Webb. Aaron Winslow. Aaron is a graduate of the honors program, summa cum laude. Emily Brooke Young. Laura S. Zapp. For the bachelor's degree in French, joining us will be Godwin Uwa, chair of the department. Karen Elizabeth Garber. Michael P. Harris. Mary Elizabeth Lammers, cum laude. Elizabeth Shannon McCarthy, cum laude. Lauren Brittany McPherson also meets the requirements for communication. Ellen O'Shaughnessy. Sarah E. Robinson. Natalie Fisk-Rulong, cum laude. Ann McKinnon Sewell. Laura D. Sweat, cum laude. Jillian Marie Tarkaney. Karen Ann Whitehurst. For the bachelor's degree in German, joining us will be Dr. Tom Baginski, director of the program. Dana Lee Riekman also meets requirements for communication, magna cum laude. Shannon L. Sheehan. Courtney Marie Sprayberry. For the bachelor's degree in Hispanic Studies, joining us will be Dr. Jose Escobar, chair of the department. Ashley Elise Abbott also meets requirements for sociology. Ashley A. Ardito, cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Barada, cum laude. Maria Zettler Ellis, cum laude. Raylene Laurel Ferguson. No Geiger? Inmar Carolina Geiger Alonso. Megan Virginia Gibbons also meets requirements for secondary education certification. Kendra Camara Ham also meets requirements for biology. Megan Harrington also meets requirements for secondary education certification. Sally Mae Horton. Sally is a graduate of the honors program. Imani Adjua Johnson also meets requirements for secondary education certification. Adrian Elaine Kennedy. Elizabeth Kent. Peter Andrew Lanier. Sarah Lyle also meets the requirements for secondary education certification. Blair Allison Mallard. Carrie M. Maughan. Christopher McClellan. Katie Scarlett Miller. Marina M. Morris also meets requirements for studio art. John H. Moy III also meets requirements in international business, magna cum laude. Caroline E. Mullinax also meets requirements for secondary education certification. Jewel Perkins. Jewel is a graduate of the honors program, also meets the requirements for political science, magna cum laude. Megan Lane Segrist also meets requirements for psychology. Brittany Dara Wisnant. For the bachelor's degree in history, joining us will be Dr. William Olenichak, chair of the department. Hamdia Fatima Abdul-Alim. Ruth F. Alexander. Benjamin R. Black. Kelly Vaughn Bowers. Michael E. Boyer. Daniel J. Brady. Joshua David Brewer. Jason J. Brasini also meets requirements for secondary education certification. B. Brown Birch. Mary W. Cantor. Travis D. Chavis. David Casilla. Calvin Dawson III. Robert William DeLellis III also meets requirements for secondary education certification, cum laude. Michael Watson Edmonds. Sarah Wheeler Haley. Elizabeth Avery Hall. Angela D. Harp also meets requirements for secondary education certification. Warren Anthony Hines. David Jenkins. Stephen Douglas Jones also meets requirements for secondary education certification, magna cum laude. Gregory Spencer Kelly. Brian McCoy Claimer. Whitfield Daniel Massey. Ryan McBee. Ophelia Yvette Mixon. William Donahue Pavey. Evan W. Pickering. Catherine E. Rickenbaker. Joanna Townsend Scarborough. Joanna's diploma is presented by her father, Bill Scarborough, member of the Board of Trustees. Bianca B. Schaefer. Helen Glenn Smith also meets the requirements for secondary education certification, cum laude. Jessica May Stanley also meets the requirements for secondary education certification. Breen Richard Stevens. John DeVoe Stockton. Corinne Lee Vivon. Emily Welch. David G. Wolter. For the bachelor's degree in philosophy,
I know it.
joining us will be Dr. Richard Noonan, chair of the department. Jennifer Bell also meets requirements in economics, magna cum laude. Timothy Betancourt. Elizabeth Corey Bogle. Timothy Clayton Jr. Matthew Zachary Graham also meets requirements for communication and history. Andrew George Balamut Heath. David Heller. Kevin L. Kempter. Aston Taylor Lewis. James Tucker Morris. Francesca S. Panarosa. Nicole Anne-Marie Riccardi. Ronald Seifert also meets requirements in Spanish. Jordan Tanner Smith. Kristen R. Steele. David Ross Stowers also meets requirements for biology. For the bachelor's degree in political science, joining us will be Dr. Lynn Ford, chair of the department. Peter D. Ashley. Joel D. Bailey. Christopher Tyler Beckham also meets requirements for history, cum laude. Virginia A. Bell. Ronald Leslie Blankenship, summa cum laude, top honor graduate. Paul C. Bordewick. Elizabeth Bouchot. J. Matthew Brown. Philip Boucher Brown. P. Katie Calhoun. Sandra Lee Debbievoice. Brandon Dean Doggett. Dennis Brentley Easley. Trey Epps. Trey is a graduate of the Honors Program. Charles William Epps III. Derek Kane Estep. Mary Elizabeth Fields, magna cum laude. Lisa Michelle Fleischman. Charles Joseph Garrison. Nicholas Collins Glover. Yaron T. Gutkin. Mary Amanda Harrelson, cum laude. Kelvin Roosevelt Herbert Jr. Sarah Whitney Holt. Whitney is a graduate of the Honors Program, magna cum laude. Alicia B. Jennings. Jennifer Ann Kinsler also meets requirements for French. Sarah Jill Kornbluth, magna cum laude. Stephen Larrabee Jr. also meets requirements for French. Matthew William Lowe, cum laude. Michael Rush Lahoyak. Patricia Brooking Madison. Norman Ryan Merritt also meets requirements for biology. Morgan Vanessa Miller. Lindsay Sarah Moon, magna cum laude. Esther K. Moore, cum laude. Frances Marie Morgan, magna cum laude. Zachary J. Mosley. William R. Mulvey. Calvin Jackson Nance III. Sarah Frances Neely. Brant T. Nigro, cum laude. Molly Jillian Park, also meets requirements in sociology, cum laude. Scott Reeves Parker. Richard Timothy Pecor. Lindsay Kate Robinette. Matthew Victor Rogers. Joseph T. Russo, also meets requirements for history. Thank you. Stephanie Stolnaker. Leah Kimberly Still. Hannah St. John. Stephanie A. Stockman. Catherine E. Sullivan, cum laude. Kathleen Talbot. Bradley William Thomas, also meets requirements for history, magna cum laude. Lauren Whitney Twaits, magna cum laude. Joseph Templeton Van Landingham. Philip Scott Van Steenberg, magna cum laude. Leah Mae Walker. Leah is a graduate of the honors program, also meets the requirements for history, cum laude. Mary Barnes Waller. Natasha Thaisa Weathers. Melissa Elaine Weidman, also meets requirements for communication. Sarah Elizabeth Wilkinson. Kevin Williams. Demetris Latoya Wilson. Andrew Michael Woods. For the bachelor's degree in psychology, joining us will be Dr. Charles Kaiser, chair of the department. Ryan All. Carrie M. Emerson. Catherine M. Anderson. Lauren Michelle Ayers. Robert M. Badger, Jr., cum laude. Jennifer Lee Barbarino. Megan Michelle Bishop. Elizabeth Blackwell. Megan B. Blair. Catherine Joy Betcher. Cynthia M. Boots. Mary Ann Brazel. Melanie Brooks. Catherine Buck. Catherine is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Laura Ellen Butler. Amy Long Caffey. Kertisha Lawanda Campbell. John David Carter. Jessica Cava. Connor Miles Chilton. Jessica Safari. Brandon J. Cole. Robert Kolner. Frederick C. Corley. Helen Ruth Corley. Elaine Cray. Honors Program, magna cum laude. Jacqueline Queen Curry.
Faraday Elizabeth Davies. Julia Chell Davis. Sarah Kennedy Donelman. Louisa G. Doswell. Andrea Monica Downs. John Gant Drayton. Lee Hannah Dunn. Ellen Mouzon Agnay. Rachel Renee Fortier. Lori Deidre Foster. Hillary Brown Gardner. Jenny Gast. Megan Michelle Gilmer. Robert C. Glenn. Robert is a graduate of the honors program, also meets requirements for biology, cum laude. Jody Ruth Godfrey, cum laude. Jessica Guyton. Jessica is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Clifford David Hackett, magna cum laude. Rosa Lynn Hagedorn. Brian Halpin. Michael Paul Hanna. Emily Elaine Hare. Whitney Grace Hendricks, also meets requirements in Spanish, cum laude. Aaron Henry. Amanda Gail Hirschberger. Tara Lynn Hitson. Megan C. Hood. Jeffrey A. Hudson. Robert Ingram, magna cum laude. Tamika Jackson. Tamika is a graduate of the honors program, also meets requirements for business administration, summa cum laude. Sarah Rain Jameson. Amy E. Johnson. Elena Johnson. Kaylin Marie Johnston. Laura Q. Johnston. Tara Ann Jones. Tiffany Marie Jones. Mad Dog Wyatt Kendall, magna cum laude. Tiffany Joy King. Jesse Adam Kramer. Shakosha Lance, also meets requirements for biology. Jennifer Chong Lee. Renee R. Levere. Danina Nicole Lewis. Yvonne Lima. Jennifer E. Loveland, cum laude. Brian Hutchison Mack. Matthew Ann McCallion. Jeremy Meyer. Sarah Elizabeth Mincy, cum laude. Laura P. Mishker, magna cum laude. Joseph Misculin, magna cum laude. Whitney Nagel, cum laude. Patrick John O'Rourke. Jessica L. O'Rourke, cum laude. Lindsay A. Palmer. Lacey Kathleen Paxton. Okay. Lindsay E. Pomfrey. Rebecca Lee Randall. Lindsay Margot Rodbell. Cameron Street Russell. Emily Lorraine Schindler. Stephanie Slavic. Lauren Joe Small, cum laude. Ashley M. Smith. Amber Souls. Amy Michelle Speck. Amy is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Kristen N. Spielman. Calvin Spivey. Marianne Stuckey. Maylee Suffel. Lindsay Sullivan. Lindsay is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Andra Julia Tatt. James Butler Taylor. Valencia R. Taylor. Melissa Thompson. Sarah Jean Tilo. Anissa Monique Tolliver. Lisa Christina Trahan. Maggie Lauren Tucker. Dax Lyon Walker. Jacqueline Candace Weisberg. Carolyn Ann Winner. Lauren Ann White. Margaret Helen Williams. Mandy Jean Wilkes. Rebecca A. Yaffe. For the bachelor's degree in religious studies, joining us will be Dr. June McDaniel, professor of the department. Paige L. Duvall. Rachel Michelle Garrett. Kristen Gardner Castendike. Robert Michael King. Monica Elizabeth Narby. Tiffany Keonia Newton. Kendall Aaron Ostendorf. Jason E. Purvis, cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in sociology, joining us will be Maureen Hayes, chair of the department. Katie Marianne Adams. Jane Baer. Emily Rebecca Bowman. Vernice Criselda Cruz Bowman. Catherine Elizabeth Bridges. St. Clair Lee Clinkscales. Margaret Newell Crane. Adam Anthony Cruz. Lindsay Alderdice Davenport. Nicole DeVillier. John Dolly. Angela Nicole Dominioni, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Floyd. Mark Flummerfelt. Mallory Jean Fort. Lindsay R. Gafford. Catherine Francis Hart also meets requirements for psychology. Brianna K. Jacobs. Taylor Montana Jones. Brian Giuliano, cum laude. Tatiana Klemenko. Lauren Ann McCallion. Elizabeth Ashley Payne. Andrew Thomas Pino. Francis Powell. Jennifer Christine Roush. Ted T. Rogers. Rashada T. Ross. Terry Schmidt. Jennifer Marie Selly. Meredith E. Sherrill, magna cum laude. Lee Waller Sizemore. Katrina O. Taylor. Rachel Winger. Arden Wilkinson. Jeremiah Williams. Jeremiah's diploma is presented by Dr. Sam Stafford, member of the Board of Trustees. For the bachelor's degree in urban studies, joining us will be Dr. Jane McCullough, director of the program. Tamara M. Avery also meets requirements for historic preservation and community planning. Misty N. Black, magna cum laude. Melissa A. Butch. Benjamin Michelle D'Alessandro. John Matthew Mill also meets requirements for historic preservation and community planning. Angela A. Tover. For the bachelor's degree in biology, joining us will be Dr. Paul Marino, chair of the department. Romeo Abengan, Jr. Amanda Marie Aguirre. May Youssef Emria. Alyssa Lauren Bell. Alyssa is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Caroline Izetta Bell. Dana Marie Bertosh, cum laude. Morgan Whitney Bivens, cum laude. Kelly Randall Blackburn. Margaret Ann Boyle. Kimberly Elaine Brandt. Romina Bria. Olivia S. Brown also meets requirements for sociology. Jessica W. Bryan. David M. Burmeister. David is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Meredith Ann Campbell, magna cum laude. Danielle Lindsay Cannon. Holly Elizabeth Carlson. Kristen Lebrelin Carpenter. Kristen is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Emily Catherine Chaka. Carolyn Malum Curry. Paige DeBenedictis. Paige is a graduate of the Honors Program. Nicholas Danito. Nicholas is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Lisa M. DeShields. Allison Beth Dunn. Nicholas Todd East. Lindsay A. Ellis. Alexa Margaret Finelli. Heather M. Farley. Rachel E. Fowler. John Raymond Francella. Rachel Marie Fuller. Rachel is a graduate of the Honors Program. Erin Elizabeth Gallagher. Erin is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Christopher Joseph Giguere also meets requirements for marine biology. Matthew Hallett. Aaron Jonay Halyard. Charles Robert Hatcher, cum laude. Natalie Elizabeth Hay. Michelle Marie Haywood. Rustin C. Jarrell. Claudia Janet Gendron. Travis Clark Jenkins also meets requirements for marine biology, cum laude. Sean Robert Jessenke. Dean Paul Gebler. Jennifer Nicole Jones, cum laude. Morris J. Kolaric III, cum laude. Emily Michelle LaFleur. Kristen E. Larkins. Nikisha N. Leggett. Rachel Miriam Lefkowitz, magna cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Lovejoy. Angela Grace Lovett. Tiffany D.L. Maines. Tiffany is a graduate of the Honors Program, magna cum laude. Eric Yehuda Marome. Eric is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. John Morrison. Ashley Elizabeth Martin. Keisha A. McCausland, cum laude. Heather Lynn McDonald. Heather is a graduate of the Honors Program, also meets requirements for secondary education certification. Jenny Michael. Julia Heather Miller, also meets requirements for marine biology. Brett Mills. Heather Moat, cum laude. Crystal L. Myers. Ashley Elizabeth Nazario, cum laude. Heather N. Nyman. Siobhan Lauren O'Connor. Melissa P. Overstreet. James Parker. Matthew J. Pava, also meets requirements for psychology. Kristen Marie Peckus. Jessica L. Purdue. Dustin Price, cum laude. Charles H. Rouse III. Lindsay A. Reynolds. Nicole Rothen. Tracy Lavette Sally. Atia Felice Sapp. Larissa Settles. Lisa M. Smith. Lisa is also a graduate of the Honors Program. Robert Joel Smith. Stephanie A. Sainer. Allison M. Stacer. John Stowe. Sarah Elizabeth Stowers, cum laude. Lauren Jenkins Sykes. Morgan Ann Tahara. Terry Elizabeth Taylor. Catherine J. Vanderwerker, magna cum laude. Matthew Charles Watson. Diana Lynn Wells, cum laude. Amanda Whitehurst. Amanda is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Kristen Ray Williams, cum laude. Sheena Renee Williams. Charles A. Wingate. Christopher Colby Wright. Brandon T. Yarborough. Matthew James Yusefzada. For the bachelor's degree in biochemistry, joining us will be Dr. James Deaver, chair of the department. Graduates receiving a degree in biochemistry also meet requirements for a degree in chemistry. Brian Seth Burns. Adam Whitfield Capps, magna cum laude. Sarah Margaret Crickman, magna cum laude. Pamela Jennifer Halley. Jason F. Heileman. Jason is a graduate of the Honors Program, magna cum laude. William A. Holder. William's diploma is presented by Dr. Sam Stafford, member of the Board of Trustees. John C. Johnston. Collier Bird Tillman King. Michelle A. Meyerhofer also meets requirements for biology. Adrienne M. Moore. Needy S. Patel, cum laude. Chris Permenter. Chris is a graduate of the Honors Program, also meets requirements for political science. Spencer W. Reed. M. Faisal Siddiqui. Nasser Siddiqui. Nasser is a graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude. Carolyn Lorraine Sober. Kyle Strickland. Kyle is a graduate of the Honors Program, also meets requirements for biology, magna cum laude. Carolyn McCullough Watson. Witol Wakoki. For the bachelor's degree in chemistry, joining us will be Dr. James Deaver, chair of the department. Christopher L. Bolton. Jarrett Hayes Vela, magna cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in computer information systems, joining us will be Dr. George Pothering, chair of the department. Okay, caller. Oh, he just went. Matthew P. Caller. For the bachelor's degree in computer science, joining us will be Dr. George Pothering, chair of the department. Johnny M. Brown. Vincent Cassiopo, cum laude. Chris Crawford. Arpan Nilesh Kotecha, cum laude, also meets requirements for computer information systems. Philip E. Cramp. Dennis William Meyer also meets requirements for computer information systems. Trent Farr Tinker. For the bachelor's degree in geology, joining us will be Dr. Mitchen Colgan, chair of the department. James David Brown. Christopher Travis Dednan. Marina Claire Drozba. Shelby Ellen. Brett Floyd. Norman Fant Jones. Asami Kikuchi. Crystal Lopez. Crystal is a graduate of the Honors Program, summa cum laude. Mary Lauren Metger. Allison Nichols Finnegan. William R. Taylor. Amos Wamwea. For the bachelor's degree in marine biology, joining us will be Dr. Paul Marino, chair of the department. Catherine Michelle Baum. Allison Michelle Kaywood. Allison is a graduate of the Honors Program, also meets requirements for Spanish cum laude. Adair Marie Dempsey. Christian Gail Ham, cum laude. Melanie Aubert. Erin Louise Snook. Patrick M. Sweeney. Elizabeth Blair Simon. Jacqueline Elizabeth Thrasher, Eric Tupperwine, Joshua Wiley. For the bachelor's degree in mathematics, joining us will be Dr. Mick Norton, professor of the department. Timothy Hansen, Evgenia Ilieni, cum laude. Amy Lene Morton, Wendy Ann Rody, Lauren Elizabeth Shaneheit. For the bachelor's degree in physics, joining us will be For the bachelor's degree in physics, joining us will be Dr. John Hakila, chair of the department. Jennifer Aaron Andrews. Jennifer is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Quayera, Alabama, Clement Davis. With an astronomy concentration, Quayera is a graduate of the honors program. John Gordon Ely. Linwood E. Wadsworth. Kevin Christopher Young, cum laude, also meets requirements for mathematics and chemistry.
It is marvelous how all of our graduates care so much about the physics department. Will all of the candidates for the bachelor's degrees please rise? By the authority granted to me by the College of Charleston Board of Trustees, the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science as earned has been conferred upon these candidates. It's now official. You may be seated. You may be seated. At this time, the Artium Baccalaureatus degrees will be awarded. The College of Charleston has awarded this degree for more than 2 centuries. That grand tradition continues today in the persons of Thomas Bullington, and I think these individuals can rise. Thomas Bullington, a classics major, Amy Gatton, a classics major, Julia Hernandez, a classics major, Sarah Kornbluth, a political science major, Sylvia Maddox, a political science major, who will also earn a major in classics during Maymester, and Philip Van Steenberg, a political science major. It is traditional that the audience also stand when this degree is awarded. Curitoribus actoritatem twerebientibus hos juvenes inimanioribus literis preclari eruditus ad gradum Artium Baccalaureatis admissi.